Hello, welcome to Cracking Up a Cold One. I'm John.
I'm Albert.
And my name's Richard. Welcome to our first podcast. Today we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, a little about where we're from, and a little bit about our aspirations.
So the way I met these two, well, actually, I met John first. The way I met him was actually in high school. We both don't remember
we don't
how we
recall
met each other,
how we
but
met
it was
each other.
like through mutual friends. But ever since then, every time we kind of like kick in high school, I always go out with him. We go out together with like a group of friends. But we kind of just stayed homies since high school through college so far.
Yeah.
We're pretty close with each other. And then the way I met Richard over here on my right side was working in retail.
Worked at a near outlet here by the town and just met each other. We did work different positions, but we met each other, found similar interests, played basketball together, and that's all she wrote.
Exactly.
I met Richard off of Albert.
Oh yeah, exactly. That was at a actually a
Yeah.
barbecue I had before
At a
going off to
get-together.
college after going into my third year of college actually. I had a little kickback, little barbecue at my house, and I was standing at the grill with Richard right next in the backyard next to the grill, and then John showed up. John come. So before I even say what happened, me and John talked a certain way to each other.
Yeah.
Like we could curse at each other, but like it's friendly, you know.
It's
Like,
just the way you guys.
It's just the way we talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's all love. And so then I'm talking to Richard. John comes out from the house into the backyard. What'd you say?
Like, something like, what's up, little bitch? Or like, why you being a little bitch?
something around those lines.
And then Richard, he's like, dude, don't talk to him like that.
Yeah,
Like,
Richard got all
he
defensive.
got
He was like,
defensive.
hey, don't be talking to my homie like that, bro.
Hey, but I didn't know any of that. I don't even
He
remember that.
didn't know
To
our
start,
vibe.
to
He
start
didn't
that
even
off,
remember.
I don't even remember that. Just to start it off.
Nah.
But that was just me being a little defensive on that. I'm sorry, man.
He
Nah.
doesn't remember. He just doesn't want to feel like
It's all
guilty.
love. It's all love, though. In the end, even if I remember it, it's all love, bro.
Hey, but since then, bro, we just kind of all three of us been.
Yeah,
We became a team, like
Exactly.
not more than a team, just like a family now. That's
Yeah.
just what it is. But yeah, I mean, ever since then, just we're family, and now it's just kind of like what we're doing. We're kind of working together to kind of build each other up, not just as friends and not just as family, but in our careers.
Exactly.
So, I mean, before we even get into that, I mean, should we just talk about?
Let's talk
just
about
talk
where we go to school.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Start with John.
All right, so I go to Ventura College, and I'm majoring in business administration and accounting as my, second major. So I'm transferring out, hopefully to San Francisco State by the fall. So
every day goes by, he gets a new acceptance letter.
Yeah.
Just
got
today,
accepted
what?
to Long Beach.
Yeah, what'd you get
Just got
today?
accepted at Long Beach.
Exactly.
So,
It's all that hard
yeah.
work.
There we go, man.
Yeah, I go to UC Merced. It's about 50 miles north of Fresno in the Central Valley. I'm majoring in business management and economics. A quick little backstory, though. When I went into the Merced, I went in as an engineering major, thinking I wanted to be an engineer mainly because I love cars. But I quickly learned that just because you love cars doesn't mean you have to be an engineering major. The way I really figured that out is because, the way I really figured out I didn't want to be in engineering, sorry, is through a research team I was able to get into my freshman year. And then my sophomore year, I was able to be one of the two managers for the actual research project, and just being surrounded around all the engineering students, ranging from like mainly seniors, juniors, some sophomores, a couple of freshmen, just seeing what their workflow was, what they do in classes. It didn't really fit my interest. Like it wasn't as appealing as I thought it would be going into it. Just because I love cars didn't really mean I was gonna love engineering. I guess.
What really changed your mind?
Just kind of being around them. Like I like math, but I didn't know.
You just didn't like the environment?
Not the environment. The environment was cool. It was like an open environment,
Uh-huh.
but like I just didn't know everything that went into engineering. Me just assuming I like cars. Like okay, cool. You could like someone told me like you could go into engineering. You love cars. Like you could become a mechanical engineer. I was like okay, cool. That just got stuck in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then as I kept going, I was like, engineering isn't really for me. So I kind of just started like talking to some friends, a couple academic advisors, And they were like, well, what about business management and economics? I was like, well, what can I do with it? They're like literally anything. And then I kind of looked at myself, kind of really evaluated what I really want to do. And I realized too, like, because as a college student, you don't really watch that much cable. You're on YouTube, Netflix most of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the YouTube I was watching was related to like business, economics, and real estate development a lot. So I was like, you know what? It's like,
Something you were actually interested in.
exactly. I was like, what do I watch? What do y'all watch on my free time? I actually watch this. Okay, like this interests me. It just didn't connect right away.
Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
not like out there watching engineering videos.
Exactly. I did not watch anything about engineering, anything about that. It was all business and economics related.
That's a common thing, though. People just they don't know what they want when they first start off in school. Like right out of high school, people don't know what they want. That's actually kind of the way that happened with me. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted either before. When I graduated from high school, I didn't know what I wanted. I ended up doing community college here at Oxnard College, and then I transferred out. I'm over at San Diego State now. Obviously, we're all majoring the same thing now. I mean,
exactly.
all business majors, different emphasis, but I mean that's even better for us because we have a different emphasis in it. So it's like we can all tag our own little thing into it. I mean, my story behind that really was when I was obviously in high school. I wasn't really the best, the smartest, I was a troublemaker pretty much is what I'm trying to say. And I got my mind thanks to my dad, I got my mind right and really got a focus of what I wanted to do. Just like seeing how he worked, he moved from Mexico to the States, not knowing anything about the language, nothing about the community, how it is out here. He built a business from the ground up, and that's really what kind of kicked it off for me. And that's why I wanted to be a business major, man. That's just like, it showed me why I kind of challenged me pretty much. And that's exactly why I'm working towards being a business major, just to see if I could do it too.
The cool thing about us three though too, we're all the same major, but even on our free time, like when we're just talking to each other, it's always like business or economics related, whether it's like investments, like cool little project we're doing, or like future things we want to do together. It always ties in back with our major. It doesn't even seem like,
I mean, we have fun too. Not,
Exactly.
not to make it
Yeah.
sound like we're boring people, but
yeah,
we
exactly.
just-
But like, at the same time, it's fun for us.
yeah,
Like, it's not something like we like stressing over. Like, oh, like let's not talk about this right now. Let's talk about something else.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, let's go talk about sports. We'll talk about sports a couple times here and there.
Hardly ever, bro.
Yeah, hardly ever.
bro.
Yeah, but like,
I don't really watch
for
them,
example, like we play Call of Duty online. Like most people think like, oh, you just like gaming online. Like I mean, yeah, it stresses us out. Good stress reliever, you know. Or it doesn't stress us out, man. It's a good stress reliever.
so. Yeah,
But like, we don't just play online just to play at the same time. It's our way of communicating with each other. Like, we could be Skyping, but instead we're kind of just having fun. It's more fun at the same time. I was like talking about like different investment things, investment ideas.
Stocks, businesses, future goals, like exactly.
Exactly.
So we started thinking, and that's really where this podcast started, man. Like really, like we were on playing one day, and then we were just broadcasting, and then boom, we were just like, why don't we bring this over to an actual podcast where people can listen and actually understand what we want to do?
I think at
Exactly.
first it was because we just started live streaming just cause
Exactly, yeah.
we
Yeah.
started live streaming our gameplays on YouTube, and it just that's
we were
where
like-
it kicked off.
Yeah, and we were like, you know what? I forgot who had the idea, but one of us did.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? Let's just start a podcast just dedicated to this. And the cool thing about like us, like as our three-man team, when we like set ourselves to something, like we follow through with it.
yeah,
That's like the good thing. You want to surround yourself you want to surround yourself with a good team that you're comfortable, you trust, and they're loyal, and you're loyal to them. They're loyal to you at the same time.
at the end of the day, it all matters if you execute something. So it's like
Doers,
you
not
do
thinkers.
it, yeah, you do it. And
Like
not
it's something just kind of
thinking
like,
about it.
oh, you have an idea, like, oh, let's do this, but you don't really set a date. For us, we're like, you know what? When's the next time we're all gonna meet together? Like this weekend. Okay, cool. Let's just start right now. Then this weekend, knock a couple of videos out. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly, man. And I mean, we're always like you said, man. We're always talking about our aspirations, man. So I mean, if you want, go ahead and let them know what you want to do. Like, what's your like short term goal? Maybe like within 2 years.
well, I'll start it off. And for my short term aspirations, I obviously want to get my bachelor's in business administration, and then hopefully land an internship in, well, as I'm going into school, land an internship at one of the investment banks, and then that's about it for right now. That's what I have in mind.
I feel like we all kind of share like the same goal. Like we want to get our
The same
degree
short term.
because we're all exactly the same short term because we're all going to school. We're all trying to get that degree. We're all trying to land an internship somewhere that's actually going to benefit our career.
Exactly.
And then we were all kind of investing stock wise. Like we're all kind of investing in stocks. Just
yeah, we all bounce out like ideas to each other.
We're-
Like in companies, which ones to invest in.
Yeah.
Get everyone's input. We won't go into something without really sharing it to someone else.
consulting with each other.
Exactly. Getting everyone's opinion. Whether we agree with them or not, we still kind of just consult with with each other, you know?
Exactly. I mean, is there anything you want to add about like your short term goals?
It's basically the same thing, just making sure graduating college within the next year and a half, landing a job right after.
What about passing that though in 5 years?
So in 5 years, so I just want to have a job where, you know, it won't really be, I know it won't really be exactly like my dream job, but it will be something I will still enjoy, where I could at the same time be saving money and grow capital for myself. Because something I eventually want to do is real estate development, and that takes a lot of capital. That takes a lot of capital, and one way I know I could start by doing that is just by doing real estate investment, whether buying, flipping houses, or buying, renting at the same time, and not necessarily going straight right into real estate development.
starting small. and then
Exactly, and just
building.
learn as I go, starting small, learn as I go, and eventually get to real estate development.
Yeah, man. I mean that's like a really good thing too. I mean because like we have the same majors, like the same major but different emphasis, man. And
Exactly.
Exactly like your idea of a business, we can all have our own touch points into that. So I mean, you have the marketing, I got the entrepreneurship, you have like your own emphasis in what you're doing, and that really kind of helps us all out. But what about you, John? What's like a
A 5-year plan.
5-year plan kind of for you?
5 years from now, I hope to be working in an investment bank. Hopefully, Goldman Sachs, which is one of the top banks
Explain a
out
little
there.
bit, bro.
Like
Uh,
what exactly do you want to be doing with them?
Well, as an investment banker, you're basically working with like companies and helping them decide whether to acquire a company or just to either invest or help families where to invest.
So is that
their
kind of
money
like a
in.
financial advisor?
In a sense, kinda, but not really, because you're working with like big companies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What about you?
I mean, man, and like my 5-year plan really is just like making the most equity I can make. And I love businesses, man. I love the idea of running a business. Like, I think we all kind of have like our own
Dream of owning a
dreams.
business.
Yeah, dreams of owning a business. But I mean,
Eventually being
how
like the
many-
boss of our own.
how many
Oh,
how
okay.
many things do we like hobby wise, interests? Like personally, I love riding motorcycles. I love sneakers. I love like fashion. I love gaming. There's like so many things that you can open up to. So it's not really business focused on one certain thing. It could be a variety of businesses.
Exactly.
Like you said, real estate, like all the ones I named. Then investing in exactly. And I really think that's like a really good thing about business. It's like
What?
it's not very
It's not vague.
it's not very
It's not focused on one
focused
thing.
on
It's
one thing.
Pretty
It's
broad.
very broad. Like you can
Yeah.
kind of like you
It implements to
mentioned
basically
earlier.
anything.
yeah. Everything is a business in its own sense.
Yeah.
It
Like
whether
you
it has to do with
mentioned,
like
the-
business or like economics in general.
Yeah.
It all has to tie back
It's a
into
science,
that.
bro.
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
science.
Even school is a business, if
Exactly.
you like it or not. Going to the hospital, your insurance, anything's a business. So
So what about after those 5 years, like long-term aspirations that you guys have?
I mean, ultimately the goal is
retire early.
retirement early and being able to afford everything that your mom deserves, man. Like really that's my goal. Like
Yeah, honestly, growing up, having to see, or at least for me personally, having to see my mom having to work a lot just to maintain for like me and my sisters like to go to school, like that pushes you a lot more, you know.
Hell yeah, man.
It makes you want to just, once you actually have a job, once you're stable enough, have to, what's it called,
Give back, man.
exactly,
Give back. Like
Yeah.
that's really all it is, man, is giving back to your parents, to your family, like the ones you love. Because
exactly.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I love giving back, man. Like I'd rather I'd rather spend money on my family, like a lot of money on my family, than spend a lot of money on myself.
And when we
True.
say we want to be like wealthy or rich, it doesn't mean like Jeff Bezos and be like billionaires. It means like,
I mean,
being
that's a goal, like a dream.
That's a dream, but
it's
also
not like
Just being sustainable enough.
we just
yeah,
want to
just
be
being realistic.
not having to worry about like, oh, I want to take like my family out for like a nice dinner like on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to like
You don't wanna
have in
be
the back of my head checking
counting,
my
like,
bank account to
yeah.
make sure I could afford to go take them there, you know?
You're like, well,
Or even making any financial decision. Like I don't want to have to be able to. I don't want to have to like look at my phone check my app
Before you go buy
before
something.
you buy anything, dude. Like,
yeah.
it's got to be, you know, I just want to be comfortable,
Exactly.
sustaining yourself, knowing that you can purchase things without having that worry, pretty much. And I mean, I feel like we're on that road though, with like the studies, with a lot of the things that we're doing, investments, our stock, like.
The good thing too about all three of us, we're all the same majors, but we all have little like different things where we want to go to, and we always share that knowledge with each other.
Yeah.
So we all, it's basically when one of us grow, we all grow at the same time. You know?
Yeah, we just spread our ideas. We share them, and not everyone thinks alike. So it's pretty cool having someone who's thinking differently than you are. So
To get their perspective on things.
You're just putting ideas on the table, and I like it how we just tell each other how it is. Or like, if this idea is a pretty bad one, we'll tell you.
We're
And
realistic.
just-
We outweigh like the positive and negatives while also being realistic with like what we have financially and like at our age, and like because we still obviously we have school as a priority right now.
Exactly.
So we come to conclusions together on what we can and can't do, scratch things off the list and things like that, you know,
but I mean,
and build on others.
with anyone, and any just like a little bit of advice. We don't know much, but we've known for what we know, our experience. You kind of have to go into businesses, into like whatever business or whatever you're gonna go into with people that you like. Even if you don't like them, you're gonna be with them. But better to make it with the people that you get along with, and that's a really good thing about us. Exactly, is that we get along and that we're pretty much like
That's
family,
when someone basically puts someone else's idea down, or not. I don't want to say down, but kind of gives them insight on why it might not work, and like the other, I guess we all come to a conclusion why it won't work. Like that person that brought up the idea, they don't get down at the same time. They just see both the positives and the negatives,
both perspectives,
both perspectives of it.
and we can see how we can make things work if it can work.
But we don't drop the idea completely. We just have it.
We bounce
So
each.
we
bounce
like
those
push
ideas
it
back.
down to the
push it
list.
aside, and we'll focus on something that's more attainable at the moment.
Exactly.
Exactly, just like the real estate. I mean, obviously that's something that we would want to do now, but it's a capital issue.
Yeah, it's unattainable
So
right
we
now.
we put that idea aside, and we think about how can we start down here first, maybe purchasing something smaller, doing something similar, but still gonna give us that same what'd you call it, like the same experience. So you're still running a certain type of business, something similar to it. I mean,
Well, also one cool thing about though, like when you're not living at home, living off at college, is that you essentially kind of have like two homes. You have here, like when you like for me, like come back to Oxnard, come like when I'm in like vacation or something, when I don't have school, I come here, come chill with my mom, my sisters, with my younger sisters in town. But then also once I'm back at school, got things to do over there, I go back to my other house over there, that I ran with a couple friends, you know. So it also renting or living by yourself also helps you build a lot of knowledge of budgeting, of being responsible with the money that you make at the same time.
yeah, exactly.
So that also kind of, I guess, how's all three of us kind of look into the future and see like, okay, we're doing this right now. How much do we have to grow in a certain area to get to where we want to go?
Kind of like keeping an outline of where we want to be, where we should be, and where we will be.
Exactly.
Type thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, really, man, it's a lot of, we have a lot of goals, but we're like we said earlier, it's not really just thinking, because someone who just thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks, that's really good. But I mean, in the end, it's really about who's doing, who's doing. Because you, like, we did this. We were talking about it for a while. Well, it took us what? I mean, partially it took us a while because it
took us
not
time
often that we're
just
here.
to.
Yeah, because
meet up.
for example, like John's here in Oxnard, I'm up north, 4 hours up north. What's called Richards, 3 hours south. So we're literally like spread apart throughout the state of California.
Yeah.
But that we don't let that, what's it called, get in the way of us accomplishing what we want to do. Like for example, we say we want to make this podcast. Here's our first episode, basically.
We made it happen.
Yeah, here's our first episode. You know.
And this is just like, it's our first episode. It's a little bit of insight, but
Insight to
We
like
wanted
the
to-
people that we are. You know.
who we are and what we are, what like a little bit of aspiration, like I guess about how knowledgeable we kind of are. But I mean, in the end, it's really like, what do you guys want? Like, what are the people that are the audience? What do you guys want to listen to? What do you guys want to hear? What is it that you guys want to hear us talking about? I mean,
But yeah, so basically in the comment section we'll have the please ask us like questions that you guys want to know, what you guys want us to talk about,
he's
and
drunk.
we also have
He's drunk. Don't listen to him.
and also we'll have the
Don't listen to this guy. He's drunk.
we'll
I'm sleeping.
we'll also have the Instagram page to both John, me, Richard, and also the actual podcast itself. So you guys could kind of
But
just
yeah, guys. Yeah, like he said, let us know what you guys want to listen to. Let us know what you guys want to know about us, because you guys got a little piece of this. Because these guys are fucking crazy. Nah, this is family though. I love these guys. But yeah, let us know. Let us know what you guys want to hear, what you guys like, what you guys didn't like. Is there anything you guys want to add?
I think this concludes it.
This concludes it, man. We'll see you guys on the next one.
it's a wrap, bro.